Across the valley, it was a very wet night last night with a lot of rain. Now we're seeing a little bit of instability happen, and we're seeing some strong thunderstorms moving their way across the valley. This line of thunderstorms has made its way from the north, from near Merced, made its way through Madera, and now it's approaching Fresno. And if you're in Fresno, you just look off a little bit towards the west, and boy, you see a big wall of black coming our way here. That is this line of thunderstorms. Let me get out of the picture here, and I'll show you. We'll get a little more in depth on some of these storms as they move on through our area here. Now, first off, let's zoom in a little bit on this action here, and we'll get right in town. And notice now we can do that, and we see it looks like the heaviest lightning activity is a little bit south of town here along Highway 41. As you can see there, stretching down towards Lemoore. Looks like a lot of activity in that region. In Fresno itself, looks like just a whole bunch of rain coming on down at the moment. You see a number of lightning strikes there, around 6 or so. We can check in a few things here. And let's take a look at exactly how much rain we're getting here right now. And if we do that, right over Fresno itself, you see some rain. Well, see some rainfall rates. Some of these thunderstorms around Fresno in town, they're putting out about, over 3/4 of an inch of rain per hour in this yellow shaded area right here towards the south side of town, central part of town, a little south of Clovis, it looks like. A little further south of town, this area here also anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain going on down in that region. Down towards Lemoore, looks like possibly a little bit of hail coming on down here, probably some pea-sized hail in that region. See if we can't query that, and well, see what we get if we take a look at that. And some pretty good rain coming on down, and also a little bit of hail in that region there as well. Let's clear this on out now, and we'll zoom back out a little bit. And again, pretty active day going on across the region for the day today, and that should continue, it looks like, through the afternoon time also. Let's put this into motion here. You can see the thunderstorms as they come in from the west. Notice they kind of develop there towards Merced and Madera County, and they really start to gain intensity over central Fresno County and searching now towards parts of northern Kings County as well. And you look at see that little spot there, right there over towards Lemoore. Potentially a little bit of hail coming on down at the hour. And then if we look further upstream here towards parts of Merced County, new cluster of storms developing in that region as well. Earlier on, we had activity down towards Delano and parts of southern Tulare County also. And we'll stop this. We'll go back in time a little bit. Let's clear this on out. And we'll go back in time a little bit here towards earlier on this afternoon, a little after 2 o'clock. You can see around this area towards parts of southern Kings County, a little bit off to the west of Delano, has some strong thunderstorms in that region earlier on. And here's the line of storms that we have right now in its early infancy there around Merced. And then it made its way to the west, and now it continues to move its way across our region right now. Again, some of the strongest activity looks to be a little bit south of Fresno, across that area there, a little bit towards, well, maybe not quite towards Kingsburg, but in that region down there. And let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. Maybe not quite there, but nevertheless, some activity going on in that region. And especially down towards south of Fresno, you see some strong thunderstorms continuing to work their way from west to east. So if it's coming on down pretty good at your place, it won't last very long, but it certainly is capable of putting down a lot of rain in a short amount of time in those areas there again. Approaching Kingsburg in that region also. Some of these storms could also produce potentially what we call a cold air funnel. So that is a funnel cloud, but very rarely do they touch down from in form of tornado. But seeing that cold air, you have so much cold air in the atmosphere like we do have right now. Again, that is something that's possible for us here. I'll zoom out there and check on the latest situation here, and we zoom in here. And again, it looks like approaching Hanford eventually here in probably the next half hour or so, moving through Lemoore, approaching Hanford potentially, and you see it towards Fresno. A lot of rain coming on down in the southern part of town in here, and let's get nosy here with some of the activity around Fresno. And again, you see there's Highway 41 and 99 interchange in that region right there. So towards the southeast part of town, looks like a lot of rain coming on down in that region. A little bit up towards the north, but the heaviest stuff seems to be in this region down here towards the southeast part of Fresno. A lot of rain in that area, potentially 2/3 or 3/4 of an inch of rain per hour, maybe over an inch of rain per hour in some of the heavier shaded areas here. These darker reds, that's over an inch of rain per hour, which is a lot of rain in a short amount of time, but it is a lot of rain, so it really could cause some localized flooding. So if you're going to be out there doing some driving around town, just to be aware that there's going to be ponding on the roadways, and give yourself a little extra driving time. And if you're going to be heading on 99 anytime soon, boy, just plan on the driving being slow. Plan on it taking its time. Plan on taking your time if you're doing that, because it's going to be pretty sloppy out there for a little while in just these little short isolated spots. Notice the rest of the valley here, pretty quiet as we zoom out. You zoom out, you can see also more activity towards parts of southern Tulare County. You see over here, and the rest of the valley here, off to the west of Fresno now, pretty quiet. Now, models are showing that around 7 o'clock we may see another cluster of thunderstorms potentially come close to Fresno, Madera, in that area. We'll time that out as it gets closer to us. But for the time being, I see the main action going on here right in this little cluster, this little line as it moves its way off from west to east. Again, let's put this into motion. You can see the activity. Let's zoom in and we'll put this into motion here and watch them come here from the west, putting down potential a little bit of hail, maybe some pea-sized or maybe even some marble-sized hail out there in a few spots, especially it looks like I would think down here towards Lemoore in that region. That could be potentially a little bit of hail or a fair amount of hail towards parts of Kings County, as you see there. And boy, that looks like a really rusty. You know what? Let's take a look at the velocity and see if we have anything happening with this here. And when you look at this and when you see the reds and the greens really tightly packed to each other, that's something to watch for the possibility of rotation. And I don't really see that very much. I don't see that very much here as I look at this radar picture and look at it. This is look at the winds. So the green are the winds that are coming towards the radar site. The red are the winds that are going away from the radar site. And when you see a little cluster really tightly packed together, that is a possible sign of rotation. And I just don't see that. And that's good, because we don't want to see that. But we certainly see a lot of rain. And looking down here, boy, this little spot right here, a little south of Lemoore, that looks like some really heavy rainfall. You know what? Let's take a look what we have there. Good grief. Okay, that little spot, that little dark purple spot there, right there. No, not that one. That little dark purple spot right there. Let me clear that out now. That's 14 inches of rain per hour. My gosh, that is heavy, heavy rain. That's only going to last for a very short amount of time, but boy, it is coming down in buckets there, a little bit south of Lemoore. As we take a look at this little group right here and see exactly how fast that rain or how much rain is coming down out of that. And that's 5 inches of rain an hour potentially. That could be skewed with a little bit of hail. If the radar beam is picking up hail with that, it may falsely interpret that as rainfall and may interpret that as some very heavy rain because the radar beam sees that hail and it really gets excited over that. And so if there is some hail in there, there's a possibility that is creating some artificially heavy rainfall rates. But regardless, the rain is coming down in buckets there in Kings County right now. And if we look towards Fresno County, it's also coming down, obviously pretty good as well, but not quite as heavy as it is down there in Kings County. As we look a little further to the north there, you see lots of rain. Again, let's throw this into motion one more time here. And you can see the activity again, really coming in from the west, continuing to move its way off to the east. So if you're, downstream of some of these storms here across parts of eastern Kings County, maybe towards Corcoran and that region, and then over towards parts of Tulare County, Visalia, obviously. Tulare seems like maybe a better bet to see some of these thunderstorms roll on through. We've got a little action going on just a little bit south of Tulare right about now, it looks like, but potentially a little more in about the next hour or so. That's something to watch for. And obviously, any place in central or eastern Kings County looks like a really good bet to see some pretty strong thunderstorms from the activities going off to the west right about now. Again, in Fresno County, we have the action going on in Fresno itself, but just a lot of rain right now, it looks like, and things kind of quieting on down as far as the lightning goes for us in Fresno County. Looks like the heart of this action is going on in Kings County. And this again could create a little local ponding on the roadways or so. So again, just allow looks to driving time as you continue to work your way through the afternoon and the evening across the region. As far as anything further beyond that, well, things kind of quiet as far as that goes. Let's go back here and just see what we have going on. Take a look up towards Merced. And they've certainly had thunderstorms in Merced earlier on this afternoon. Let's put this into motion and see what's happening around Merced. And right now the activity a little bit north of town. That little cluster rolled through town earlier on, but right now things kind of quiet. Had that big line of storms there move their way through parts of Madera County, including Madera itself earlier on. Now looks like quiet, all's clear in Madera, but we may see that second group of storms potentially developing around 7 o'clock or so this evening. So that's something we'll watch for. Looks like most of the activity has been turning just to rain showers in the foothills like Oakhurst and Mariposa and Albury and such, and then turning to snow in the higher elevations. Shaver Lake's been seeing snow for a good chunk of the day here, and that will continue also through the afternoon hours. It should be winding down overnight, and that's with these storm systems. They will be calming down after sunset tonight. The atmosphere is very unstable, likes to form these thunderstorms right now. It needs the sunshine to do so. So once we see the sunshine go down after sunset, then I think a lot of these thunderstorms will dissipate rather quickly, and so the rest of the night should be fairly quiet. But right now, again, really angry group of thunderstorms, if you will, working their way towards parts of across Kings County. Again, in Fresno itself, nothing much going on right now. Not as much activity as is going on in Kings County. The strongest stuff, again, down there, a little bit south of Lemoore, heading towards Corcoran, eastern parts of Kings County, the next half hour or so, and then making it towards, say, Tulare or Delano, probably in about the next hour or so. And again, you see, boy, it's pretty much just one game in town here. Well, you see what we have. This big group of storms right there. Behind it, not much right now. And ahead of it, a little bit of action here in southern Tulare County. But for the most part, the rest of the rest of our area is fairly quiet. We take a broad picture of what's going on here at the moment. And again, you see the action going on right there. That one little concentrated line of thunderstorms stretching from Fresno, where it's just a lot of rain, stretching into some pretty heavy storms down towards Lemoore. Again, a cold air funnel is possible. We see these funnel clouds dropping from the parent cloud and trying to drop down. They really don't touch down very often, if ever, but they certainly look like they could, and they certainly look amazing, and they certainly can cause a panic. You see that funnel cloud from the cloud, and you think, oh my goodness, we got a tornado coming. Rarely does that happen, but they certainly do show the funnel cloud activity going on. And you see it looks like a lot of hail coming on down in that region also. So certainly watch out for some small pea, marble, dime-sized hail potentially. I would think in Kings County, some of these thunderstorms going on down there. It looks like some decent hail going on in that region. And this activity is slowly working its way from west to east. Again, we'll put this in motion, and you can see the activity continue to work its way west to east. Now push it a little further away from Lemoore and continuing to work its way towards the east, southeast, continuing across Kings County, eventually making it into parts of southern Tulare County. You see a little bit of activity ahead of that already down in this region right here, but stronger thunderstorms is what we have going on in Kings County. And that is also pushing off towards the south and the east. So it's kind of a little bit of what we call a training activity going on there, where this would be, let's clear this out. If we consider this the train tracks where the thunderstorms going over and over and over again right there along the train tracks, and that's where you can potentially get a little flooding, where you see this just continuous round of heavy rain hour after hour, and it seems like we may have that going on across parts of southern Tulare County at the moment, and southern Kings County, central Kings County also. So minor local is a possibility in that area. You just might watch that as we go through the afternoon and the evening. Again, also a little hail continuing to be possible in that region. Light activity continuing to go. How many lightning strikes do we have across 13 right now? There's one Tulare County just happened at the moment, so 14 right now. Activity Fresno on northward doesn't look like much lightning going on. But again, Kings County, and right now in Tulare County, but eventually much more in Tulare County. That's where all the lightning is, where the most intense thunderstorms happen to be at this hour. And it looks like we might see a little bit of development there now towards that activity up towards parts of northern Merced County. We'll continue to watch that. Look, a little cluster as well. That cluster will continue to work its way off towards the south and towards the east also. So that will continue to move its way in a pattern, taking it in this direction here eventually. In the next hour or so. So may hold together as it tries to move into Mariposa. That's something to watch for, at least Mariposa County, if not Mariposa itself. So that's something to watch for in the next hour. And we continue to track the thunderstorms as they work their way south of Fresno. You see the little line of thunderstorms making their way right there, passing through Fresno now, passing through south of Clovis, it looks like, and continuing to work their way through parts of Fresno County, eventually approaching Reedley in a little bit. Had a little thunderstorm in Reedley last night, and that continues to be a possibility again this afternoon when this big cluster here works its way slowly like that, slowly off towards the east-southeast. So that all headed in that direction. So Visalia, I don't see any way you're going to avoid that here in the next hour or so. Tulare, don't see any way you're going to avoid that. Look for more rain coming, and look just a little bit north of Delano. Also got some thunderstorms going on in that region right about now. So we'll continue to watch those as we go through it. In fact, let's zoom in on Delano now and see what's happening actually a little bit north of town. And there's Delano itself, and it looks like just a little tiny bit north of Delano. Got some pretty good activity going on also. And then with the second group of storms here behind it, it's just going to continue to add water on top of the water, and so a little bit of localized flooding is a possibility in this area right about there, as you can see. And Visalia, things look kind of quiet right now. Probably watching a little bit of activity off to the south and east of town, right in this region here. You can probably see a little bit of lightning, I would imagine, if you're looking in that direction from Visalia, or if you're in Tulare, just look a little bit off to the east, and you can probably see that activity. Or you look a little bit off to the west, and you can see this big group of storms here approaching your area there. If you're in Visalia or Tulare, or if you're in Hanford, you're probably just watching it moving through town right about now, because it looks like the activity is right about there, basically. Let's zoom in and see how we're looking at Hanford, and that big ball there, that is the Doppler radar site, which is right there at the National Weather Service in Hanford. And well, it looks like it's moving right through Hanford right about now with vivid lightning, dangerous lightning, probably booming thunder going on, probably a little bit of small hail at the hour as well. And that will continue here. And it's moving fairly quickly. Looks like they're continuing to march their way off from the west to the east, but continuing to move that way here through afternoon hours. And again, models are continuing to suggest that another group of storms may make their way, or may form and then make their way into Fresno probably around 7 o'clock later on tonight. So we've had one little thunderstorms, a lot of rain, not a ton of lightning out there for this group in Fresno, but we certainly had some pretty heavy rain just very recently. We could see that happen again probably in about 2 or 3 hours or so from now. So if your lawn needed a little watering, well, Mother Nature's doing it here for you. And if you got the sprinklers fired up already, you might want to go ahead and turn those sprinklers off, because Mother Nature is providing all this free water here. And, well, why pay for it if Mother Nature's going to pay for it, right? So you can see now as we zoom in here on Fresno. No lightning going on here, nothing being detected at least. It looks like town is starting to clear out, maybe towards the parts of Clovis, especially eastern Clovis, still dealing with a little bit of the wet weather in this area here, and also towards southeastern Fresno. A little bit of activity looks like towards further south, towards Selma and Kingsburg and those areas, still dealing with some strong and heavy rain going on. No lightning being detected, but still a lot of rain coming on down, and that certainly is well, it's certainly soaking things out there for sure, and creating for some pretty messy driving if you're doing that there on 99 or wherever you happen to be. And now looking like this little group there towards Delano seems to be intensifying a little bit as it continues to work its way off to the east. You can see this little group right there. Continuing now, looks like it's a little stronger potentially as we get through the afternoon time there, a little bit north of Delano. And here towards parts of Kings County. You can see this little group here continuing to look impressive, and certainly, again, putting down a lot of rain in that area there. Some of these rainfall rates, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of rain per hour in some places. This little group here north of Delano, that's putting down 3, 4, 5 inches of rain per hour potentially. It's not sticking around for an hour, but if it would put down 4 or 5 inches of rain there. So that's very heavy rain. That rain could cause a little localized flooding on the roadways and a few other things very quickly. And if we take a look here over some of these storms over towards parts of Kings County, and that's putting down rain 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of rain per hour, and these heavier cells as well. So lots of rain coming on down for a short amount of time, but it is certainly heavy rain coming on down in parts of Kings County and parts of southern Tulare County. So again, activity looking pretty wet there across many areas there across the region. And then notice the rest of the region here. Parts of western Fresno County were getting soaked. Now totally dry. Maybe you can see a little bit of sunshine out there. And it looks like western Merced County also pretty dry. Stanislaus County Further off to the north, also fairly dry right now. Any kind of sunshine we get, though, will further act to destabilize the atmosphere, will further act to develop thunderstorms in the future. And so, again, that's why we're thinking that these thunders should happen again, or a second group again. Looks like potentially later on tonight towards parts of Fresno and maybe Madera County. Again, at 7 o'clock, models continue to suggest that. And as we check in now the latest progress of these storms, you see the activity continuing to work its way from the west to the east. Lightning earlier on across parts of Fresno County, but now it looks like the action as far as the lightning goes has kind of quieted on down in Fresno County. Just put down a whole lot of rain in Fresno itself, and I didn't hear any thunder at the station, which doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I didn't hear anything. But it certainly looks like a lot of thunder going on there across parts of far southern Fresno County and into Kings County. That group of storms continue to work its way through Lemoore into Hanford right about now, passing through Hanford, putting down a lot of rain and a little bit of localized pea-sized hail. And again, that's all heading off towards the east, all heading towards Visalia and Tulare here in the next half hour, 45 minutes or so. Continuing to work its way through that region there. Behind it, again, here's a little bit of sunshine for this region, which may, again, destabilize the atmosphere in the future. And all this activity, this threat of thunderstorms will diminish rapidly after sunset tonight, which the sun is a big fueling factor for all this. These thunderstorms really need sunshine, need the warmth of the sun to get the atmosphere unstable and generate these thunderstorms. And so once we lose that here later on tonight, then the storm activity will diminish very quickly. But for the time being, we've got the sun's out, storm's out, and we're seeing that here across Fresno and Kings counties at the moment, also into parts of southern Tulare County. Again, some pretty strong thunderstorms just north of Delano, and pretty strong storms south of Lemoore, south of Hanford. Certainly looks like we have thunderstorms in Hanford itself right now, but it looks like the strongest ones are a little bit south of that here in parts of southern Kings County. Let's zoom in on here on Kings County itself, and you see some of the action as we get right in close here. And again, the itself and the Doppler radar site is right here, obviously. So that's where Hanford is. And then for the south, this little group here, wow, that looks like some really gnarly rain coming on down in that area there. And if we check into just exactly how much is coming on down, 7 inches of rain per hour in some of these heavier thunderstorm cells there, 6, 7 inches of rain per hour, and looks like potentially a little bit of hail coming on down in this area right there. That probably pea-sized hail for the most part, or maybe a dime-sized hail, but still, nevertheless, a little bit of hail coming on down in that area there. And all this activity continuing to push off towards the east, southeast like that. So there's Tulare right there. There's Visalia right there. And all this action's coming your way in the next probably about half hour or so. So be aware and be ready for that if you need to prepare in some way, shape, or form. If you got the dogs outside, maybe you want to bring the dogs inside or so. If you got something, maybe got some laundry or some artwork or whatever outside, maybe you want to bring it inside. Yeah, it probably is inside already after all the rain that we got last night. But still, if there's something outside that really needs to be inside before a lot of rain comes your way in Tulare County, you might want to do it now, because here it comes. Big line of thunderstorms in that region. Kind of ran out of gas as they moved into Fresno. They certainly dropped a lot of rain, but really not a lot in the way of lightning or thunder, at least that I heard. But it's certainly going big guns there across parts of southern Fresno County and Kings County at this hour. And boy, that drive on 41 looked pretty wild, I imagine, about a half hour ago. Now it looks like it's just continuing to work its way off to the east towards central Kings County and eventually eastern Kings County, and working its way through Hanford right around now. And should be working its way out of Hanford fairly shortly also, because in fact it looks like it's moving on to Hanford also. So let's get right in on Hanford here. And you see the action. There's Hanford right there. You see the thunderstorms coming in, and now it looks like they're moving on out. There's a radar site right there in town as well. If you live in Hanford, you've seen the big golf ball, I'd imagine, on toothpicks, it looks like. It's a ginormous golf ball and ginormous toothpicks. That's your Doppler radar, and that's what it's showing here. Rain coming through Hanford and other parts of Kings County and stretching into southern Fresno County as well. And a little further to the north in County again, activity looks like it's pushing out of Fresno down towards Kingsburg and those areas right around here or so. So on the 99, looks like really wet stuff, rough stuff driving there, and maybe just want to pull over if you have friends or loved ones on the roadways. Maybe they just want to pull over and just kind of wait it out, because it's not going to last that long. but it's going to be really rough driving while it's happening. So again, maybe just taking a break here and just letting the rain do its thing and then continuing your drive might not be a bad idea here or so, because things look, again, pretty wild out there right about now. We will continue tracking these thunderstorms and break back on in if things get pretty crazy here or so in the next couple of hours. Right now, again, just keep an eye on all these thunderstorms. We're watching that for you in Kings County and Tulare County and in parts of Fresno County as well. And we'll watch for potential redevelopment again around 6 to 7 o'clock this evening across parts of, say, Old Madera County and Fresno County. So that's something we'll watch for as we go through the evening. But for now, we'll set it back to regular programming.